They stop and when you're in Formula One, you're in the spotlight, you're at the top of the world, and then it's kind of downhill kind of from there on, you don't earn the same money.
Lewis Hamilton is a famous British racing driver, fashion designer, musician, activist, and voice actor. Last year, Lewis competed in Formula One for Mercedes, and from 2007 to 2011, this racing driver drove for McLaren. In Formula One, this man holds the record for the most wins, podium finishes, and pole positions. This man is considered one of the greatest drivers in the history of the sport, as well as one of the highest-paid F1 drivers on the planet. The racing driver was signed to the McLaren Young Driver program back in 1998. Then in 2013, the racing driver signed a deal with Mercedes. Last year, Time magazine listed him among the 100 most influential people globally. This man has won Formula One World Drivers' Championships in 2008, 2014, 2015, 2017, 2018, 2019, and 2020.
At the moment, these past 5-6 years, I've really been trying to work on what I enjoy outside of the sport, so that when I stop and I can walk away and have other things to go.
If you enjoy these videos, please remember to hit the like button, as it does help us out a lot. And comment below who your favorite celebrity is that you'd love to see in an upcoming video. His full name is Lewis Carl Davidson Hamilton, but he's also known as Lewis Hamilton and Billion Dollar Man. He was born January 7th, 1985 in Stevenage, Hertfordshire, England, making him 36 at the time of this production. He stands at 5 feet 8 inches tall, or 1.74 meters. Let me tell you that Lewis is a member of the Order of the British Empire. A portrait of this famous racing driver by a professional photographer named Dario Mididieri is held in the National Portrait Gallery of London. Back in 2017, he stated in an interview with the BBC that he had become vegan. The next year, Lewis became the PETA Person of the Year for his vegan activism. During the same year, this successful racing driver stated in an interview that he gave up drinking recently. It's worth mentioning that Lewis is a fan of art. The racing driver says that Andy Warhol is one of his favorite artists. In 2007, this racing driver was caught speeding at 196 kilometers per hour on a French motorway. As a result, he was suspended from driving in France for 1 month. Back in 2015, he was named the richest person in British sports. Back in November 2007, he started dating an American singer named Nicole Scherzinger. In 2010, the pair broke up to focus on their respective careers. However, at the 2010 Turkish and Canadian Grand Prix, they were spotted together. Between 2011 and 2015, Lewis and Nicole separated and reunited many times. Then in February 2015, the couple finally separated. Later, it was rumored that Lewis was dating Rihanna. Moreover, this racing driver has also dated Sofia Richie, Rita Ora, and Winnie Harlow. Later, Lewis dated Nicki Minaj.
We're in the heat of this battle right now. I'm loving it more than ever. The training, all the work that you put into something, and then you get to really show your abilities.
He was born to Anthony Hamilton and Carmen Labalestier. Let me tell you that his father is black while his mother is white. The racing driver is identified as black, and his parents separated when he was 2 years old. Until Lewis turned 12, he lived with his mother and elder half-sisters, including Nicola and Samantha. Then the racing driver went to live with his stepmother named Linda and his half-brother named Nicholas. His half-brother is also a racing driver. When Lewis was 5 years old, his father gifted him a radio-controlled car. The next year, this man finished second in the National BRCA Championship. Lewis attended the John Henry Newman School. It's worth noting that this racing driver took up karate in order to defend himself because he was bullied at school. Then in 2001, he started studying at Cambridge Arts and Sciences. In 1993, he started karting and won several races as well as cadet class championships. In 1995, Lewis became the youngest person to win the British Cadet Karting Championship. At that time, he was 10 years old. Then in 1998, the racing driver signed up with the McLaren Young Driver program. Let me tell you that Lewis became an official Formula One McLaren driver in 2007, and he's the first and only black racing driver. He started his big league racing career in 2001 with the British Formula Renault Winter Series. Lewis finished 5th, and he was able to secure a place in the 2002 Formula Renault UK campaign. Later, he performed in Formula 3. Then in 2006, he was given the opportunity to race in the Art Grand Prix. He scored a victory at the GP2 Championship, and the racing driver later made his F1 debut at the Australian Grand Prix in 2007. Despite a crash, Lewis finished 3rd. Then he won the Hungarian Grand Prix. In 2010, he won his first Turkish Grand Prix. In 2012, Lewis joined the Mercedes-Benz Works team. The racing driver went on to win Singapore, Italian, and Japanese Grand Prix. He had then become one of the most popular racing drivers on the planet by the year 2013. The next year, Lewis received the BBC Sports Personality of the Year award. Lewis won the F1 World Championship for the first time in 2008. It's worth mentioning that Lewis has won 6 world championships. In 2018, he signed a 2-year extension deal with Mercedes. Last year, the racing driver revealed that he will race in an all-black Mercedes to support the Black Lives Matter movement. This man has been vocal about the lack of diversity in Formula One racing.
Yeah, there always is. No, honestly, just super focused. Of course, occasional date here and there, but just trying to win the championship. I have a lot of projects that I'm working on.
Let me tell you that Lewis earns around $50 million yearly. It's worth mentioning that the majority of this income comes from Lewis's Mercedes contract, from which he's paid $40 million each year. Back in 2012, Lewis earned $3 million from an endorsement deal with Reebok. During the same year, he also signed a 3-year deal with Mercedes, which was worth $100 million. The next year, he earned $1.5 million from the brand endorsement deals alone. Then in 2014, Forbes reported that Lewis earned $3 million from brand endorsement deals and $29 million from winning competitions. The next year, this racing driver reportedly earned $39 million. Lewis also makes money from his clothing line called Tommy X Lewis, which he launched in 2018. The next year, he launched a vegan restaurant called Neat Burger. The total net worth of Lewis Hamilton is $285 million. Back in the year 2017, Lewis purchased a penthouse in New York for $43.9 million. The penthouse is located in the Tribeca building and covers 8,900 square feet. Let me tell you, this is the largest penthouse in the Tribeca building, and Lewis listed it for $57 million in 2019. Moreover, this racing driver owns a mansion in Kensington in West London, which features 6 bedrooms. The property is worth around $25 million. Lewis also has apartments in Monaco and Nyon, which is a suburb in Geneva in Switzerland. Lewis purchased his house in Monaco for £10 million. The racing driver also owns an estate in Colorado and says he would live in this estate after his retirement. Lewis Hamilton owns the following cars: a 1967 Ford Mustang Shelby GT500, a Ferrari LaFerrari, a Ferrari LaFerrari Aperta, a Mercedes-Benz AMG GTR, A Cadillac Escalade. A 2010 Ferrari 599 SA Aperta. A Mercedes-Benz Maybach S600. A 1966 Shelby Cobra 427. A Mercedes-Benz AMG G63 6X6. A Pagani Zonda LH. A Can-Am Maverick X3. A Mercedes-Benz AMG Project One. A McLaren P1. A 1967 Shelby Cobra 427. A Mini Cooper.